Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're unpacking something that, well, it might feel a bit, let's say, transactional. On the surface, we're talking about cleaning fees in the rental business.
Yes. But looking through these sources we have, there's way more to it than just a simple charge, isn't there? It's actually quite strategic.
That's exactly it. We've got notes, articles, especially leaning on this piece, strategic cleaning fees for rental business profitability. And our mission really is to get past that surface level idea, to understand what's really going on with these fees. Because, yeah, it's probably not what most people think.
Right. You see cleaning fee, you think, okay, extra profit. Simple as that. But the core idea, the central argument in this source material is pretty different. And honestly, more interesting, it says these fees are mainly about managing costs, not really about generating direct profit.
Okay, hang on. So not about boosting the top line, but protecting the bottom line by controlling expenses. That feels a bit backwards almost. Why is that distinction so important for, a rental company?
Well, because it changes how you think about your whole operation, your efficiency. Whether you're renting, basic scaffolding frames or something high turnover like wine glasses or even heavy equipment like a bobcat, how you handle that item after it comes back, the cleaning, the checkup, getting it ready again, that directly hits your ability to rent it out quickly next time. The fee becomes a tool, really, to help manage the costs tied up in that process. Things like labor time, supplies, and, crucially, how fast you turn things around.
So it's less about the income from the fee itself and more about making the whole rental cycle smoother, faster, cheaper, saving money and preserving margins.
Okay, so let's dig into those specific costs then. What exactly are these fees meant to cover?
Okay, so an item comes back. What happens? You've got to inspect it, right? See if it's damaged. Then maybe some light maintenance. And then definitely cleaning. Each step has costs attached. And labor's often the big one, yeah. The source really points this out. The actual hours your staff spend cleaning, inspecting, maybe repackaging, that adds up fast. Especially, like you said, for those small, high-volume things. Think about wine glasses after a big wedding. Someone has to wash, sanitize, polish, carefully pack every single one. That's a lot of hands-on time.
A huge amount.
Yeah.
And it's not just the payroll cost. You need the right stuff to do the job. Specialized cleaning machines, maybe, specific chemicals, the right packaging material so things don't break. You can't just use dish soap on everything. Those supplies cost money, too.
Right. And then there's the one that maybe isn't as obvious, but the source stresses it. Turnaround time. This seems critical.
Oh, absolutely critical. If an item is sitting, waiting to be cleaned, or the cleaning process itself is slow, it's dead inventory. It's not out there earning revenue.
So delays mean lost opportunities. You might have to say no to the next booking or push back a delivery.
Exactly. Or you have an unhappy customer because the thing they reserved isn't ready. So getting that cleaning process efficient, it's vital for keeping downtime low and maximizing how much that item can earn over its life.
Okay, that really paints a picture of cleaning being core to the operation, not just wiping things down. But surely the strategy for the fee itself has to change depending on the item. Like you said, a wine glass isn't a bobcat.
Absolutely. And the sources give some great examples of this. Think about something really basic, like scaffolding frames. They're tough. Low maintenance, you check for obvious damage, maybe hose off some mud, occasional repaint. The cleaning cost per rental is probably pretty minimal.
So for those, maybe you'd even need a separate fee. You just sort of build that tiny overhead into the main rental price.
Pretty much, it's often just absorbed. But then contrast that with the wine glasses again. High volume, tons of labor per item, and you have to meet hygiene standards. You just can't rely on the customer to clean those properly. It's not feasible, not safe. So the fee covers that professional process, ensuring every glass is perfect for the next person. It's about quality control.
Makes sense. And then there's that third category, the specialty stuff. Barbecues were mentioned, bobcats, heavy equipment. This is where the source talks about an optional cleaning fee, but with a really interesting twist.
Yeah, this part is fascinating. The goal of that optional fee usually isn't to make money on the cleaning service. Often, the source points out, you set that fee deliberately high, like noticeably high.
Why would you do that? Price yourself out of the cleaning job.
Kind of. You price it high enough to make the customer think twice.
Yeah.
To actually encourage them to do the basic cleaning themselves before returning it.
Ah, okay, I see. So it is counterintuitive. You charge a lot because you'd actually prefer they handle the simple stuff, hose down the BBQ, get the mud out of the bobcat bucket.
Exactly. Because if they do that little bit of work, you save potentially significant labor costs, and, just as importantly, you speed up your turnaround time. The high fee is like a nudge, a deterrent almost.
For things where it's reasonable for a customer to do some basic cleanup?
Precisely. It's about steering their behavior in a way that helps your bottom line and your operational flow.
So clearly not a one-size-fits-all approach. And the source suggests the strategy actually needs to change as the business itself matures.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When you're just starting out, phase 1. Maybe you offer cleaning for free or just a tiny fee. Your main goal then is getting customers, building a reputation, establishing relationships. You eat those initial cleaning costs for the bigger picture.
Okay. Then you move into a growth phase. More rentals, more volume. Now those cleaning costs start to add up. They actually bite into your profits.
Right. So phase 2, you introduce standard cleaning fees. Still maybe fairly modest. You don't want to scare people off, but enough to start covering those direct labor and supply costs.
And then phase 3. The advanced stage, the business scaling, maybe has multiple locations, lots of inventory. Efficiency is everything now.
This is where you get more sophisticated. You bring in that tiered system we were just talking about.
Right, the optional high fees for things like barbecues or maybe pop-up tents, items customers can clean easily, set it high to discourage them paying it.
Yes, and you pair that with mandatory cleaning fees for items where you absolutely need control. Linens, glassware, catering gear.
Mm-hmm.
Things needing professional sanitation. For those, the cleaning cost just gets rolled into the main rental price. It's not optional because the standard has to be guaranteed.
Which brings us to communication. Because you roll out these fees, especially mandatory ones or high optional ones, how do you tell customers without them just feeling nickel and dimed? Transparency sounds like the absolute key.
It is. The sources really hammered this point. You need to be upfront and explain the why. Tell them, look, this fee covers the work and materials needed to make sure this item is perfectly clean, safe, and ready for you, just like it was for the last person. Frame it around quality and standards for everyone.
And where you can offer a choice, like with the barbecue example, make it explicit. Clean it yourself to save or pay this amount for us to handle it. Giving them that control makes a huge difference psychologically.
Absolutely. And being upfront from the very beginning. Put the fees right there in the pricing structure. On your website, in your quotes, the source mentioned platforms like Rent Anything Store that help display this clearly. No surprises at the checkout. That builds trust.
Okay, let's zero in on those cases where you don't give the choice, where the fee is just baked into the rental price. What are the main scenarios for that? Usually quality or health, right?
Exactly. It's where you simply must control the cleaning. Linens are a prime example. They need specific washing temperatures, detergents, maybe pressing, professional methods.
Can't rely on someone using their home washing machine.
Definitely not. And anything food-related. Chafing dishes, serving utensils, and especially glassware, flatware. They have to be properly sanitized. Health codes demand it. Customers expect it. Rolling the fee in guarantees it gets done right every time.
And what about delicate stuff? The source mentioned a cotton candy machine?
Right. Or maybe complex electronics, things that are easily damaged if someone tries to clean them the wrong way, just to avoid a fee. If improper cleaning could lead to costly repairs or downtime, it's often safer and cheaper in the long run to just include the professional cleaning cost in the rental price. You handle it, prevent the damage.
The source had some really concrete examples of these fees in action. For the Bobcat or similar heavy gear, that optional fee, it mentioned setting it really high, maybe like 200% of your actual cost.
Yeah, so the example was something like, if your internal cost to clean it is $50, you might set the optional fee at $100.
Okay, so definitely not trying to make a $50 profit on cleaning Bobcats.
Not at all. The goal of that $100 fee is to make almost everyone say, nope, I'll spend 15 minutes with a hose myself. You save the $50, and crucially, that Bobcat is ready for the next rental, potentially hours sooner.
And for something smaller, like a popcorn machine, still potentially messy, but easier for a customer to handle, the source suggested maybe a $75 fee.
Right. Again, probably more than your actual cost to clean it, but positioned so that most renters will look at it and think, okay, yeah, it's worth my time to just wipe this down. It nudges them towards self-cleaning.
It guides their decision.
Okay.
And then for the items where you need control, like the wine glasses or tableware, the fee is just part of the deal.
Exactly. Like the rental price might be $20 for a set of glasses. That $20 includes your cost for washing, sanitizing, packing. Yeah. It's built in, transparent because it's part of the base price, and non-negotiable because hygiene isn't optional.
Managing all these different fee types. Optional high fees, mandatory built-in fees, maybe no fees for some items. It sounds like it could get complex administratively. The source did briefly mention tools that can help businesses keep track of all this.
Yeah, and that's important. Using rental management software, like the Rent Anything store platform mentioned, can be a huge help. These systems can automate displaying the correct fee structure for each item, manage those customer choices for optional fees, track which items are clean and ready, and even give you data to see if your fee strategy is actually working to reduce costs and speed up turnaround.
Okay, so if we step back and sort of summarize the whole deep dive here, the big picture takeaway from these sources is really about flipping the script on cleaning fees. They're not just the simple add-on charge.
Yeah, not at all. They're really a sophisticated tool. An operational lever, you could say. Focus squarely on managing costs, especially labor, guaranteeing the quality and safety standards that protect your brand, and ultimately maximizing your revenue by keeping your inventory working, not waiting. It's about efficiency.
So the key elements are understanding your true cleaning costs, tailoring the fee strategy to the specific item, letting that strategy evolve as your business grows, and being absolute crystal clear and upfront with your customers about why these fees exist. It's that blend of offering choices where you can and maintaining control where you must.
That's the balance. Get it right, and it contributes significantly to a more profitable, sustainable rental business.
Right, and thinking beyond rentals. This whole idea of using pricing not just for revenue, but as a strategic tool to shape customer behavior and optimize your own internal costs. How else could that apply? In other service industries, maybe even in how you manage your own time or resources. Definitely something interesting to think about.